Assalamu alaikum. This is Tanjin Ahmed. Welcome to the presentation on different mechanisms of size reduction. By the term size reduction, we can easily understand that it is a process where large particles of solids are cut or broken or reduced into smaller pieces. The mechanism through which the reduction occurs consists of 5 types of stresses. They affect the breakage pattern of the particle. Some gives definite shape or some gives indefinite shape. So the first stress is impact. In this process, the particle concussion occurs by a single rigid force. The process usually involves bars or hammers at high speed. Impact occurs in both moving and stationary particles. 3 kinds of phenomena can be seen here. In the first one, the hammer is kept stationary and the particle comes towards the hammer at high speed, causing the breakage into smaller particles. In the second one, the particle is immobilized and the hammer is movable. So the particle gets impacted with the hammer, causing disintegration. In the last phenomena, 2 individual particles collide with each other, causing the breakage. The next stress is compression. With the term compression, it can be immediately understood that there must be some kind of application of pressure. 2 surfaces A and B, as we can see on the slide, apply 2 rigid forces individually towards each other, causing the crushing effect on the particles, and then the particles get disintegrated. The mechanism is used in the crushing mill, where the particles fall between 2 rigid rollers and disintegrate into smaller pieces. This is how the particle size gets reduced through compression. The next stress used for size reduction is cutting. If the name of the process is cutting, it must refers to the cut down of larger particles into definite shaped smaller particles. In this mechanism, the particle is cut through using sharp knives, blades, or surfaces on the equipment. Here in the slide, we can see a picture of a cutter mill where the sharp blades are marked. 2 types of knives are used here, the stationary and the rotating knives, through which the particle is passed and gets cut, causing disintegration. After this, we have shear for size reduction, in which particles are compressed between the edges of 2 hard surfaces. This process uses shear force for size reduction. Basically, this mechanism is the combination of cutting and crushing of particles into indefinite smaller pieces. In this slide, we can see a picture of a colloid mill where shear force is used to reduce particle size. The orange marked portion is called stator, which is stationary, and the green marked portion is called rotor, that keeps rotating. Through the yellowish mark, the particles are put, and between the gap of the rotor and the stator, the particles are disintegrated into smaller pieces. And the last one is attrition, where the particle size is reduced through the application of rubbing or friction force between the surfaces of 2 particles or stationary surface. If we consider 2 surfaces A and B, the opposite movement of the surfaces causes friction force among the particles between them, causing disintegration. 2 types of phenomena can be seen here. In the first one, the two particles produces friction due to the opposite movement direction and disintegrate. In the second one, the particle produces rubbing action due to the iterated movement of the particle with the stationary surface and gets disintegrated. So now we know that following these 5 mechanisms into different types of equipments, the particle size is reduced. Now a question may arise: when the breakage occurs, do the whole particle breaks apart into pieces in an instant? Well, the answer is no. All the particles have weaker spots called flaws. When the pressure or force is applied, the disintegration occurs from the flaws first and then continues gradually. I will wait for further questions. Thank you very much. Allah Hafiz.